Gizmodo's features editor Joe Brown covers technology and joins us now from New York. And Joe, I get a feeling that you are not such a big fan of these new Blackberries.
I mean, they could have a 2700 megapixel unicorn tractor beam, and I wouldn't be a fan of these Blackberries because they're just not enough. I mean, we need to talk about the base technology, so I'm going to get a little technical for a second, but these are based on Java. Java is what Blackberry operating systems have been based on all the way back to the last millennium. The new Blackberry operating system, what's operating on their tablet, the Playbook, is based on QNX. It's a company that Blackberry bought last year, I believe, in order to really move them forward. It's a good play. But the problem with this QNX operating system is it's not compatible with any of their old hardware, including these phones. So these brand new phones, which came out today, won't operate on the next version of Blackberry's operating system.
So why is it taking them so long to transition to the QNX operating system? I mean, RIM is calling this the biggest launch in the history of BlackBerry, but you're saying it's just like rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic.
Well, I'm saying it's not enough. They got hit by those layoffs. You know, they had to lay a lot of people off, and you lay off engineers and progress slows. It's not this, you can't just take an operating system from a tablet and put it on a phone. It's just, it doesn't work. And they have to actually reorganize the software and make some handsets that are built for a new kind of operating system. It's just, you can't do that quickly. They had to release some phones. They released these, and they are the last phones that will ever be on the previous millennium's operating system.
So if QNX comes to market sooner rather than later, are you hopeful about its potential?
Yeah, you know, BlackBerry is not a dumb company. RIM is not a dumb company. They really were pioneers in this whole space. Remember when it was cool to have email on your phone? That's because of BlackBerry, and that heart is still with this company. They can still do amazing things, but they need to get moving because what they're doing now is just more of the same.
Now, with this new operating system, QNX, what does that mean in terms of the ecosystem? Do all of the apps have to be rewritten? How does that work? Yeah,
it is a big app issue right now. Because if you're a BlackBerry developer, if you're developing for the Playbook and you want to maybe have an operating system, a version of your app for the BlackBerry phones as well, well, you have to write one app in QNX and one app in Java, which is what the old, dating back to the pager operating system is written in. You're not going to do that. You're going to say, forget it. I'll write one for QNX and maybe 5 people can get it, or I'll write one for Java and then a bunch of people who don't really care about apps can get it.
So, but isn't that another huge problem for research in motion? Developers just don't want to write for BlackBerry anymore. They want to write for the Android. They want to write for iPhone. They're giving up on BlackBerry.
For now, I mean, I don't think that it's such a cut and dry proposition. You're going to see people writing for better handsets. And if RIM comes out with some hot new handsets running on a unified operating system so you don't have to make more than one copy of your app, people will develop for it. There's no shortage of app developers. They will come.
So when do you think we're going to see a turnaround from RIM? I mean, their shares are down 57% so far this year. They're having big layoffs. When are things going to change?
Wow, I wish I knew. I hope soon because, like I said, you know, this is a company that embodied a lot of the progress forward that made us fall in love with technology. So I'm hoping they turn it around really soon.
So you really think RIM can come back and offer a competitive alternative to the iPhone and Android?
I mean, remember that Android is just a little bit more than a couple years old. Who knew about Android 3 years ago? Nobody. And all of a sudden, it's got way more market penetration than Apple did because they played a different game. You know, you can't compete with Android. And who knows what tricks RIM has up its sleeve. I don't want to count anybody out in this landscape. These people are all smart. They've innovated before. They can do it again.
It is a market that changes quickly. As you said, Joe Brown from Gizmodo, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.